Jerry here, Officium Labs CEO. I've been in the video games industry for the better part of 5 to 10 years. I've been playing my entire life, and it's always been a great way to meet people and have a good time, relax. And in some cases, it was good for problem solving and to help my mind to think differently and more creatively about different topics that might be in my life at that time. As I think about how that relates to my professional work in customer service and customer experience and community, I often think about how can you help the players who already enjoy playing your game kind of tap into your community and then become part of the game creation, almost like co-creators. And most recently, we did an application for an award with the Peer Awards. And in that application, we talked a lot about, some programs that we created that helped those gamers really connect with each other and be part of the overall process of providing feedback as well as great ideas and co-creation. So as we thought about the program, we knew there was a couple kind of two or three important things. I think the first was in order to get gamers feedback, or instead of after that we released a build, we would do it as part of the beta build process. So including gamers into the beta build process, get their feedback, get their thoughts, letting them be your game testers. You'd be surprised at the amount of gamers that will provide really meaningful and essential feedback that can prevent a lot of confusion, challenges, or to be frank, some players leaving your game. So kind of that play testing, beta testing was a key component as we pulled together, how can you build out a best-in-class community, a best-in-class engagement with your players. The second piece that we talked a lot about, and then we decided that it was the right thing to do, was content creation. So you hear a lot about influencers, who are essentially marketers for your product, building up to launch. But the players that actually play your game are deeper in your game than most of the customer service people or even the community people ever can be. And they can create content that will help other players succeed. And so we created a content creator program that allowed players that were already using YouTube or Twitch or a variety of other sources, Mixer and whatnot, to take their content and their videos and really amplify it to a larger audience. Since they were part of the beta test, they were able to leverage the next build's content data to create great videos for their followers, but also they became kind of sources of truth and experts. As players got deeper and deeper into the game, they went to these content creators not only to watch their videos, but to ask questions and to kind of see what was the best thing for them to do to be successful in that next step. And that was super valuable, not only to the community itself and building a collective group of people that really enjoy each other's company and enjoy playing your game, but we also noticed that when we introduced that program, the reach that we were able to get out on in the internet, it was exponential. And then beyond that, the stickiness with our game increased by 5 or 10%. So the natural next step, as we were thinking through kind of a best-in-class engagement, really having your players be part of the game, is meetups. It's not a novel concept, but we thought it was super valuable for the type of game that we had at the time. We hosted a number of physical meetups, pre-COVID obviously, and virtual meetups. And what we found is that when we set up contests specifically for those meetups, gave awards for being 1, 2, 3, the top players in the meetups, we created not only the culture of players wanting to partner and work together, and it helped kind of decrease player toxicity, but it also helped us to think about new ways to think about the way that we introduce content to our players, the way that we support our players, the way that many-to-many strategy of where the community can help the community succeed. So in our view, when you're thinking about best-in-class customer service and best-in-class community, oftentimes there's a focus on one or the other, but it's really an inclusive thought process of what's the end-to-end player journey? How do you think about the first time that player touches your game? How do you think about the first time that player has an issue with your game? Or that first time that player has a question and wants to reach out to your community? How do you think about the reasons why your players come to the game? If you look at the different personas that you have inside of your game, some players just want to win, they just want to dominate. Other players would come for community purposes. Other players are builders, enjoy helping other players be successful. So when you think about those types of things and how you can build a broad-based community that's supported by a best-in-class customer service team, I definitely encourage you to think about beta testing, play testing, kind of the same thing, engaging with content creators and leveraging them to be your voice, as well as hosting meetups, whether they're virtual meetups like Zoom or whether they're physical meetups post-COVID. Those are three key big wins that we found in the project that we did to figure out how do we create stickiness with our game by leveraging our community, their expertise, and their capability.